Poker is a game of skill, nerve, and probability. But sometimes the cards have their own sense of drama. Every once in a while, a televised cash game or tournament table turns into a stage for the kind of hand you couldn't script if you tried. Bluffs with exposed cards, impossible coolers, players misreading the nuts, slow rolls so outrageous the table groans in unison. Recently, a string of incredible hands, many captured on Live at the Bike, Hustler Casino Live, and classic European Poker Tour broadcasts, reminded fans why poker is endlessly watchable. Here's a deep dive into some of the craziest, most jaw-dropping hands we've seen, and what made each one unforgettable. Will Kasou, Master Troll meets Dream Flop. If you've spent any time watching streamed California cash games, you know Will Kasou. He's a table talker with a mischievous streak, part comedian, part psychological warfare specialist. Will loves to needle opponents, narrate his decisions, and push social boundaries just enough to make people tilt.
Gonna be playing.
And Derek, oh my god, what a hand. Will has quads and Derek has eights full.
How should I play quads, guys?
Wow, what a flop. Will is going to cooler Derek hard here.
65!
During one lower stakes but highly entertaining Live at the Bike session, Will found himself in a dream spot. Almost everyone limped in pre-flop, a typical scene in many LA cash games. Will peeked down at pocket sixes and saw a flop that made every poker player's heart stop. 6 spades, 6 diamonds, 8 hearts, quads. To his immediate left sat Derek, holding pocket 8s. Top boat on a board where that usually means you're crushing everyone. What followed was vintage Will. Instead of quietly plotting maximum value, he started talking, out loud, about his hand. Take your time. No rush. Don't want to make mistakes, please. And thank you. He joked, then casually asked the table when one should call with quads. He even called out 8s full. The very hand Derek actually held, just to mess with everyone's head. Derek, oblivious and thrilled with his full house, raised Will's initial bet. Will milked the moment, asking for a vote on whether to call. Some players encouraged him, others rolled their eyes. The tension built until he finally slow-rolled Derek in what might be one of the funniest reveals in recent live stream history. The whole table erupted. Derek could only shake his head as Will turned over 4 sixes after a comically drawn-out tank. For fans, it was pure entertainment, the perfect mix of sick cooler and psychological theater. Skull Mike's nut-straight misread, $1,300 gone in a blink. If Will Kasou gave us the ultimate showboat cooler, Skull Mike gave us a cautionary tale. Fatigue plus distraction can burn thousands. In another streamed session, Mike raised pre-flop and semi-bluffed a flop. His opponent, Mr. Dat, called. The turn delivered the exact card Mike needed for the nut straight, but he somehow didn't realize it. Instead of pushing for value, Mike hesitated, second-guessed, and ultimately folded the best possible hand. On camera, you could almost watch the realization hit him. The face of a man who just watched $1,300 evaporate because he didn't notice his own straight. It's a reminder to every grinder. Long sessions dull your brain. Even pros misread boards. And sometimes that mistake costs more than a bad bluff ever would. Harry's exposed card bluff, gone wrong. Few things make a live table weirder than an accidentally exposed card. When Harry flipped over the 8-diamond pre-flop by mistake, everyone knew one of his hole cards. Most players would tighten up immediately. Not Harry. Holding a suited connector with some straight potential, he wasn't ready to fold. He called bets despite the table's partial knowledge of his hand, drawing for a straight. Meanwhile, Andrew flopped a set of 3s and AJ held an overpair. The pot swelled, past $5,000 by the turn. Andrew was ecstatic. End of the session, already up big, holding what seemed like a lock. On the river, he bet just $600 into a massive pot, a sizing that screamed, "Please call." Harry, ever fearless, turned his semi-information disadvantage into an audacious bluff, shoving his entire stack while showing the 8 again as if to say, "I swear I've got it." It was a gutsy move, and for a moment, it almost worked. Andrew tanked, facing the prospect of losing another $5,000. But finally he muttered, "Forget it." I call Harry's bluff was picked off, and Andrew dragged a $22,000 pot. The whole table buzzed at the sheer nerve Harry displayed, and the cool-headed hero call that broke it. Andrew Roble versus Toby Lewis, full houses meet quads. If you think getting coolered with a full house is rare, think again. In a legendary party poker live hand, high-stakes star Andrew Roble and British crusher Toby Lewis created a nightmare scenario. Pre-flop, Lewis raised with a premium, Roble called, and Yevgeny Timoshenko came along with pocket deuces. The flop came QQ9, a dream for Roble's pocket queens. Except Toby also held a monster and played it perfectly. Instead of slow playing, Toby bet his quads hard, while Roble, convinced he was way ahead, just called. By the river, the board ran out in a way that made Roble's hand look invincible. But it was anything but. He shoved, Toby snapped, and the whole table looked on in stunned silence as Roble tabled queens full, only to see Toby flip over quad queens. Roble's face said it all. Pure disbelief. The hand has since become a textbook example of why coolers are called coolers. There's simply no escaping some fates. Mariano's straight flush versus Andy's nut flush, Hustler Casino live chaos. Few things in poker feel better than making the nut flush on a non-paired board. It's one of those hands that almost never loses, unless the poker gods are laughing. At Hustler Casino Live, popular pro Mariano picked up 10 diamonds, 8 diamonds, and found a dream runout, a straight flush. Across the table, Andy made the ace-high nut flush, the perfect setup. Action was cautious early with a flop check-through, but Mariano started building a pot on the turn. By the river, Andy felt invincible. The board hadn't paired, only 2 combos beat him, and he held the ace of diamonds. Confident, he bet $120,000. Mariano didn't hesitate. He shoved all in. Andy, trusting his read that Mariano could have sets or lower flushes, called instantly. Showdown. Straight flush. Gasps around the table. Andy stood up and literally walked laps to cool off. Few beats sting more than losing 6 figures when you think you're unbeatable. The cannon who folded aces and dodged disaster. Not all wild hands end in pain. Sometimes a player's gut feeling saves them a fortune. Enter David Fishman, a math teacher who earned a seat on a televised big game alongside pros. He picked up pocket aces, the dream. But instead of raising or calling, David did something almost no one does on TV. He folded preflop. Viewers gasped. The table mocked him. Folding aces live feels sacrilegious. But when the flop came, it became clear. He would have been almost drawing dead against Phil Lack's monster holding. Whether it was math, instinct, or nerves, the fold saved him a mountain of chips and instantly became poker lore. The miracle ace. Olivier Busquets' lifeline in Barcelona. Sometimes the deck gives. In a European Poker Tour Barcelona event, Rijkaard raised with pocket kings and got action from Olivier Busquets, who held ace-2 suited. When the flop came perfect for kings, Rijkaard was giddy. Busquets was nearly dead. Then the turn. Nothing. But on the river, an ace. Busquets, ever composed, didn't celebrate outwardly, but inside he had to be shouting thanks to the poker gods. That river card not only saved his tournament life, but propelled him all the way to win the entire event. Few comebacks feel sweeter than snatching victory from a seemingly locked coffin. Lessons from the madness. Watching these hands back-to-back is like taking a crash course in poker's unpredictable heart. Some key takeaways jump out. 1. Coolers are unavoidable. Robles queens into quads. Derek's eights full into quads. Sometimes you simply can't fold the second nuts. Good players lose huge pots because the math says you should pay off. 2. Discipline saves bankrolls. David Fishman's aces fold looked insane in real time, but discipline, or uncanny intuition, can protect you from ruin. Same with Andrew's careful river call versus Harry. He weighed odds, not bravado. 3. Table talk is a weapon. Will Kasou proved psychological pressure can extract value and entertain. Just know your environment. What works in a fun, low-stakes stream may tilt opponents in a serious game. 4. Always recheck the board. Skull Mike's mistake is a PSA. No matter how long you've played, double-check straight and flush possibilities before mucking. 5. Variance can be brutal and beautiful. Mariano's straight flush, Busquets' miracle ace. These moments are why we watch. Sometimes luck crushes you, sometimes it's your savior. Why fans can't look away. Poker isn't just math, it's human theater. Players bluff with exposed cards, needle each other with humor, and react to heartbreak in real time. When someone slow rolls quads or misreads the nuts, the table dynamic shifts instantly. Viewers love it because it's unscripted drama with real money on the line. Live streams like Live at the Bike and Hustler Casino Live have turned these moments into viral highlights. A single wild hand can rack up millions of YouTube views because it shows every emotion: triumph, disbelief, tilt, and laughter. If you loved this roller coaster of insane poker hands, the bluffs, the coolers, the miracle rivers, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's the easiest way to stay up to date with the most jaw-dropping hands from the live-streamed felt. We've got more unforgettable moments, strategy breakdowns, and behind-the-scenes table talk coming your way. So click subscribe and turn on the bell to never miss the next 1-in-a-million poker hand. Think you've seen a crazier hand than these? Drop it in the comments below. We'd love to see your picks for the wildest plays ever caught on camera.